Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing the 2018 Dodge Challenger Demon, and well, this is probably one of the craziest American supercars ever built, for multiple reasons. I'll tell you guys three of them, and well, one, this car's powered by a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8. Two, this thing creates over 808 horsepower. And three, well, this thing has a 0 to 60 in under 2.2 seconds. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything you should know about this car, from the specs, the design, the history, and everything else. So let's go. Okay, so first thing first, we have to talk about the specs, because this car right here is powered by a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8 that creates 808 horsepower and a whopping 717 pound-feet of torque. And well, if you have 100 plus octane, you create 770 pound-feet of torque. And well, that goes through an 8-speed torque fly automatic transmission via the rear wheels only to help this car rocket to 0 to 60 in only 2.3 seconds, which is completely insane. I mean, for an American supercar from 2018, those specs are completely bonkers. And well, the top speed is even crazier, because this thing could reach over 211 miles an hour. I don't know how safe it would be going that fast with this car being so insane, but still, that is quite bonkers. And so now you guys are probably wondering, well, it all equates to nothing if the quarter mile isn't fast. And let me tell you guys this, the quarter mile is fast as heck. And well, let me tell you guys that right now, because the quarter mile of this insane car could be between 9.25 and 9.65 second quarter mile time, but still, that's completely crazy, at around 140 miles an hour. So those specs are completely insane. The 0 to 60, the top speed, and pretty much everything about this car is bonkers. But is the MPG as good? Well, let me tell you guys that right now, because well, the city MPG is about 13, which is quite terrible. The highway MPG is 22, which is actually quite good. And combined, it comes down to about 17 miles per gallon, which truthfully is not that great. Something like a Porsche 911 Turbo S, which is pretty much as fast as this, has around 22 miles per gallon combined. But this is only 16. And well, that helps you get in the city about 240 miles of range, which is quite bad, and in the highway about 470 miles of range, which is quite good for the specs of this car. And well, combined, you get about 350 miles of range altogether, which overall definitely isn't the best out of all the cars I've reviewed. And well, then you guys are probably wondering, what is the price of this thing? Because if the specs are that crazy and the MPG truthfully isn't that great, how much does this thing cost? And well, all started in 1970, when Chrysler decided, why don't we build something that's insanely fast, powered by the Hemi V8, and that could pretty much compete with the Chevy Corvettes and Ford Mustangs of the world. And well, they took Chrysler, it's called E-Body platform, and pretty much put a brand new body, brand new engine, brand new transmission to create one of the wildest old school American sports cars of the 1970s. And well, that car pretty much lasted between 1970 and 1974. And well, that was essentially the first generation of Dodge Challenger. And well, the second generation, which was from 1978 to 1983, I believe, well, that was, I guess you could say, the fuel crisis era Dodge Challenger. And well, that was pretty much a rebadged Mitsubishi Gallant, which a lot of you guys probably haven't heard of here in America, but it was pretty much a rebadged Mitsubishi that was supposed to look like a Dodge, even though it was nothing like a Dodge. And well, then from 2008 to 2023, that was considered the third generation of Dodge Challenger. And well, that pretty much brought a completely new design, because the Challenger had been dead for over 20 years, and well, it packed a beautiful Hemi V8. It was insanely fast, powerful, and well, pretty much. And well, one thing I really loved about this new generation was actually all the way from the 70s all the way to here in 2018, well, they've kept the design kind of the same. Not all the way the same, I'll tell you guys truthfully, but some things that you'll notice is that, one, these headlights are identical to the original Dodge Challenger headlights. The overall body shape is pretty much the same, and the interior is still really thick and American sports car-ish. And well, that generation lasted till 2023, when Dodge decided to pull the plug, sadly, on the Challenger and Charger series. But then, luckily, in 2025, Dodge decided, why don't we bring back the Challenger? And well, they did, as the all-electric EV counterpart to the original Challenger. And I actually made a review of the car, you could see it in the link above me. But anyways, that was one seriously cool car. I'm a huge fan of that, actually. But anyways, then now actually in 2026, Dodge brought back the V6. Instead of a V8, they decided to put a V6 inside of the Challenger. And actually in 2027, for all you Dodge fans out there, Dodge and Ram fans, you guys should probably know that actually Dodge will be coming out with a brand new Hemi V8 that's powering the brand new TRX, and they're gonna put it in the brand new insane Dodge Challenger. So that is pretty much the wild history of the Dodge Challenger, and so yeah, that is quite crazy. And so now you guys are probably wondering, well, what is the price of this thing? I promise you guys I'd tell you, and I'll tell you in 1 second. But first, I want to tell you guys a couple of my favorite things about this wild car. And first is, of course, those headlights I mentioned. They're really nice, how you have two round headlights. It almost looks like a Bentley, at least for me, which is also really, really nice. You have this insanely huge hood scoop, which actually works, which is another nice thing, because a lot of times cars have hood scoops that don't work at all, but this one actually completely works, which of course is also really, really nice to feed that insane Hemi V8. Also, like, you have just like interesting, you have just like yellow strip coming across here with the black trim, that beautiful diffuser. The interior, truthfully, I'm not the biggest fan of Chargers and stuff like that, but personally I really like this wide body kit as well. And so those are pretty much some of the main things that I like about this car. And well, we'll check it out. We'll check out the design of the interior and exterior in a second. But now you guys are probably wondering, how much does this thing cost? You guys are probably screaming it because you want to know so much. But, well, this thing starts in 2019 at $84,000, which truthfully is not as much as you expect for a supercar slaying American sports car like this, but still, it's kind of expensive. And, well, as the generations went on, in 2023, the last generation of the Dodge Challenger Demon cost over $150,000 when it was new, so that was a good deal more expensive, but also it was way more powerful. And so now I've told you guys pretty much everything you know about this car, from the specs and the MPG and the price. Now let's take a closer look at everything above the hood and in the interior, so let's go. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at the interior and exterior of this wild car, and first I want to talk about is the front, because this front, as you could tell, is quite crazy looking. I love how Dodge was able to keep this like old school feeling, because at least most people won't notice this, but at least car enthusiasts will, that you actually have these two circular lights that actually give a hint back to the original 1970s Dodge Challenger, which is a really, really cool thing. You have your main daytime running lights here and your nighttime running lights here. And actually, one really interesting thing is that if you come to this side, you'll notice that there's a hole right there, right next to the headlight. And on this side, it's the exact same thing. On most Challengers, you'll notice that both of these are complete headlights. But this, they actually have these really wild air intakes that feed air directly into that Hemi V8 engine, which is, to tell the truth, quite crazy. And you have your SRT badging there, nice shiny SRT badge. You can see your air intakes there as well, which also look really, really cool. Then you get down here, and you have this nice little lip spoiler here. I don't know why, like if you look closer, you can see that Dodge just added this like yellow trim that goes actually all the way under the car, but look at how it's added on. You have like a space between it, kind of strange. I don't know why Dodge did that, but still, it looks kind of nice with that like nice sporty yellow trim across there. And actually, if you get down here, you have your nice air intakes down here to feed air to that wild engine. And actually, you hop up here, and this is probably one of the most aggressive parts about this car. One, the wide body kit, but two, you have this humongous, let's see, how big is this? This is at least like 3 feet long, this wildly huge air intake here, and you could actually see it leads directly, it doesn't lead straight back there, but it actually just dips straight down into the engine, which is quite insane. And I actually really like how Dodge covered this in this really nice like black plastic type of trim, which also looks really, really nice. And yeah, also you can see how humongous this hood is as well. Like, just look at how tall that thing is to fit that engine. And then you hop down here, and This is probably one of my favorite parts about this car compared to most other Challengers, because most other Challengers, they don't have the wide body kit, but as I noted earlier in the video, this has this, it's a more special edition wide body kit. You have this really nice, and it actually added on quite smoothly, like bends perfectly into the metal, so that looks really nice. And actually, you look from right here, the body kit, it's literally like this big. That's a humongous wide body kit. And then you see the tires, which literally look like straight up drag radial tires, which are used for drag racing, like over 1,000 horsepower cars. But you have the insanely thick tires here. These are nitro tires. I've never heard of that brand before, so that must be an actual racing type of tire, so that's quite crazy. You have SRT badging there, but I'm surprised actually you don't have center mounted wheels. I mean, that's mainly for race cars, but still, it would have been a cool little thing. And actually, you have full-on Brembo brakes as well. You see, they're pretty good size. These are front brakes, so they don't need to be as powerful as the rear brakes, since the rear brakes or the rear tires are actually powering the car, but still, that's really, really nice. Then you have your Dodge Demon logo here as well, which looks quite crazy as well. I guess all the Dodges, depending on if it's the 392 or like the Hellcat or the Demon, they all have different badges on the side, which I'm a huge fan of. And yeah, then you also come here and you have this really nice, it's quite tiny, a tiny little mirror, but still, I like the cool little rounded mirror. It reminds me of more like an old school American muscle car, so yeah, it's also quite nice. And then you also have your fuel filler cap, which actually, the reason why Dodge did this is to kind of hint to the old school Dodge Challenger, because the original Dodge Challenger and pretty much every generation of Dodge Challenger has had this more like old school racing type of fuel cap, which is also really, really nice. And then you come to the back of this car, and this thing is quite crazy. Like, literally, from this back view, you couldn't even really tell that it's a Hellcat, truthfully, unless you're looking from the side and you see that wide body kit. It just looks like a normal Dodge, but then, once it races you, you'll definitely know that that's a Demon. But then you also have SRT badging there as well, which looks really, really nice. You have this cool little wing here with this, I don't even know why I have this, but it's a little, like, dented in piece right here. Interesting, but still, that's quite cool. And actually, this wing is not just like a plastic wing that they added on, but it actually has all of your electrical wiring, so like that, for your rear camera as well, which is also quite nice. And then you also have your nice Dodge badging there. You have your, it's actually like split in half. I've never really seen a trunk like this. Like, usually the entire like rear light will open up with the trunk, but this one, it actually splits in half, which is quite interesting. And you have a nice like gloss LED trim here, your brake light, and then you have your backup light there in LED, white LED, which is also really, really nice. And yeah, then you actually can hop down here, and you have quite tiny exhaust pipes. But I mean, it sounds crazy good, but the exhaust pipes, I feel like, look way too small for this car. But yeah, then you also have this nice little reflector here, and the back bumper, it's actually, you could see those humongous exhaust pipes. Check out under, like, the body of the car. You could actually see how big the exhaust pipes are. Like, literally, those things are ginormous. But anyways, that is also really, really cool. Speaking of, now let's open up this trunk and show you guys what that looks like. So you have to press this and open it up. Too bad you don't have, like, a grip, but yeah, you have a quite spacious trunk. Actually, I didn't expect it to be this spacious, but you have a nice little Demon booklet there, and overall, it's really quite spacious, more than I expected. The only problem is that this, like, lifting something up, there's this ledge here, so definitely wouldn't be the best, but still, it's way more spacious than I expected, especially for such a wildly fast supercar like this. But anyways, yeah, the trunk is quite cool. You also have a little emergency trunk opener there as well, and so yeah, that's pretty much all of the trunk. Let's close that up. And so I think we've pretty much checked out all of the exterior of this wild car. Now let's hop out and check out the interior. And actually, right before we do that, I just want to show you guys that this thing is kind of higher than I expected. It's all the way to, like, the side of my face almost, so it's definitely not a low car, but still, it's wildly fast. And so now let's hop inside. You actually have to press this cool little button here, which helps you open it up. So let's get inside. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at the interior of this wild car. And first thing first, let's start off with the side. You have this nice Alcantara here, nice leather trim there as well, and got your little lock and unlock button, and then your window switch. You got your nice handle there as well, which is really, really nice. And then you also have your cup holder there. Yeah, then you also have your nice little glove box here as well, which isn't extremely spacious, but still, it's quite nice. Close it. Okay, you have to kind of push it closed. Not the greatest quality, but still quite nice. Then you also have Demon badging there. Oh, this is the number 599. It shows the production number right there as well, which is also quite nice. You also have your little AC there. You can turn up or down the flow of the AC, which is also really, really nice. Then you also have some more AC there as well. And yeah, then you also have your Alcantara trim across here. You have your nice little, the sun's kind of in the way, but you have your nice little sunblock as well. This is actually perfect for my height, even though the seat is at its normal level. So yeah, that is also quite nice. But yeah, then you also have this, your nice little rear view mirror there. You have some lights here. You could tell it's definitely not new. It's more old school because like the screen, actually let's check it out right now, isn't going to be as quick, or at least I expected not to be. But yeah, so let's, how do you get home, I wonder? Oh, so I guess you have radio. It's cool, have the little demon badge in the background. Then you have media as well. You can connect your devices. You have climate. You have apps, SRT mode, travel link, vehicle user guide, assist, all those nice little buttons. And you can actually scroll performance pages, 101 radio, mirror dimmer. Interesting, what is that? Oh, okay, so it actually dims the mirror, so that, let's say there's a light from another car behind you, like a lift truck or something like that, you could dim the mirror so the light doesn't shine directly into your face. That's also quite nice. Then you also have audio settings. And actually, I'm interested what that SRT mode means. Okay, so it shows you how much power, what your traction control, your suspension, and everything, what mode it's in. So yeah, that's also quite nice. And you have auto, custom, and drag. Ooh, that's quite nice, but definitely not the quickest because it's not a new car, but still, it's relatively quick even compared to new like Bentleys and stuff like that. But yeah, then you also have navigation there. You have view map, and ooh, it's actually quite cool. For some reason you have an orange Challenger there, but it's not quick at all. Okay, this is terribly slow. Okay, how do I get back? Okay, anyways, that's sadly the worst navigation I've ever tried. But yeah, then you also have phone there as well. I don't want to connect, but yeah, so that's a simple little screen on this car. Then you also have your nice little AC there as well, which I really like. And then you have screen off, mute, SRT. I think that's probably like sport mode. You have launch control. Ooh, too bad we can't drive it, but that would be cool to test. Then you have on and off, the AC and stuff like that. Let's try the screen off. Just turn the screen off if you don't want any distraction. It's a nice little feature that a lot of new cars don't have. But then you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and you have all the, and you can actually go into manual mode where you act like you're shifting, but you just move back and forth, which is also a really, really cool thing. And actually, I show you guys a couple more things before I show you guys the steering wheel and the seats. But you have a nice little armrest here, which also I'm a huge fan of. You have some nice stitching on it, and let's open that up. Sadly, it opens sideways. Strange. I feel like it would have been better if it just opened like this, but it opens strangely sideways. And yeah, you have not the greatest amount of storage. You have a 12-volt charging there, and you have two. Those are like older style charging ports there. It's kind of hard to get a shot with the camera having to be sideways, but yeah, not the greatest amount of space, and some more old school type of chargers. Then you also have cup holders there as well, which look really, really nice. You have a little storage area there as well. And yeah, then you also have engine start stop button, run, so that is also quite cool. And actually, before we check out anything else, I want to show you guys what these seats are like, because actually they're quite nice. I don't know why they're so thick. These seats are literally like 2 feet thick, or 1 foot thick. I was kind of exaggerating it, but let's test them out. So seatbelts first. It kind of scrapes against the plastic, so not the most pleasant experience, but I'd rate them like a 5, I guess, 5 to 6. So Not the greatest, but still not too terrible. And you have demon badging there. Ooh, that looks really wild. And actually, interestingly, the two like demon heads are looking at each other. Interesting. So yeah, that's quite cool. Then these little side pieces here, headrest from like a regular Chrysler, which is also quite interesting, and some more Alcantara trim there as well. So they hold in place, not the best, I'd say, but still relatively well. I mean, if you're on the Nürburgring, you kind of slide out of your seat unless you pushed yourself into it like this. So, not the greatest, but still, it's okay. And yeah, then you also have SRT badging there, some nice silver trim there, and you have different modes, custom, cancel, all those type of modes. And the steering wheel, it's nice, this really nice like Alcantara trim on the steering wheel. I'm actually a huge fan of it. It looks really nice. And yeah, the steering wheel, it's kind of like flat bottomed actually, like an Audi, which is quite interesting. But I actually kind of like the steering wheel, and you have your paddle shifters there as well. They actually sound quite nice. But you have these tiny little paddle shifters, like half of them's cut off, which is quite interesting. But yeah, then you also have top speed, which says, oh, it could supposedly go all the way up to 200 miles an hour, but actually it could go all the way up to 211. So when you're going top speed on like a drag strip, let's say, well, you're actually going to go way past that rev limiter, which is quite crazy. And then you also have your rev limiter there as well. You can rev all the way to 7,000 RPM. Not the most powerful, but still quite nice. And you can see how much oil you have left. Key fob has left vehicle there. And you have 219 miles of range left. So yeah, that is also quite nice. And actually, let me show you guys what the key of this car looks like, because that is also quite cool. So here it is. You have SRT badging on the side, like kind of milled aluminum, which is quite cool. Then you have your panic button. You have to press this twice, and the trunk opens, and you have this weird turnaround thing, and you have lock and unlock there. And actually, you also have a red key, which looks even cooler. I don't know where that one is, but that is a nice little key there as well. So yeah, that is also quite nice. And actually, you also have a little, if you have, let's say, Gucci glasses, you could put them in there, which is also a nice little feature. And actually, you have a sunroof, which I didn't realize at first when we were checking out the interior, but you have a nice little sunroof there. It could open all the way up if you want, which of course is also quite nice. But yeah, so that is also quite cool. Then you also have like your handle here, which I also quite like. And then you also have a little bit of storage there as well. And actually, you could stretch out quite a good deal. Like literally, my feet, I'm almost like laying on the seat, and my feet are still barely touching. So yeah, that is also really nice. And yeah, overall, this car, it's quite nice. I mean, I like some things about it more than others, but still, you have this nice little metal handle here and some more leather trim there. So I think we've checked out pretty much all of the front seats, which I actually like how they kept it more like old school by not putting as much extra stuff in it. Now let's take a closer look at the back seats and see if they're just as cool. Okay, so now on the back seats of the 2018 Dodge Challenger Demon, and well, they're quite spacious. Overall, the legroom with this pulled forward, it's quite good. You have some storage here as well, and overall, yeah, it's quite nice. You have nice headrests here. You have a little armrest there as well, which is also quite nice. And then you have an AC. So overall, it's quite small in here. Now let's hop out and near the end of our video. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video. Remember to like and subscribe to Xaaron Reviews, and also check out my X and Instagram where I post some of the coolest car news and car photography that I know. So see you guys next time.